أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين مولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كل نفس ذائقة الموت آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. My brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we are back on track. Today, it's part 20 of volume 2, where we're discussing, just to take you back so that it's easier for us to follow. We have reached in this series of death a time when the person is already dead. We have discussed how the soul comes out, what happens when he is dying, what does he see, what happens as soon as, or what happens to the soul when it is outside the body, and how it behaves where it is. We discussed that the soul does not go anywhere, it is right there next to the body, and it is in another form. It takes the form of the person's personality, his shakila, and remains in that state before burial. He stays where the person is. Then we discussed, we left that part of philosophical point of views. We went to now the jurisprudential views, point of views, where we're discussing the Sharia part of handling the body. We talked about the body being ready to be taken for ghusl. We have taken the body to the ghusl, and we started preparing the body for giving ghusl. We mentioned all other things that were required in order for us to ensure that we fulfill the duties of the dead body as perfectly as possible. Now that the body is there, we were discussing how to prepare the body, how to wash the body in order to ensure that before ghusl, this is the state of the body. The last point in part number 19, in volume 2, the last thing we were discussing was if the body is bleeding. And that is where we stopped. How do we stop the bleeding? All of us here, or some of us here, would definitely take part, inshallah, one day or the other, in any ghusl or any washing of the body. But all of us here cannot say, no, but it's not my duty. I will not do it, or I don't want to do it. Because we are comfortable in the community that we are in. We have got organized, we have got teams who are handling this job. It does not mean we will not face these problems in our life. We may face, and chances are very good or very highly likely that we could face. 2, we have to know. It is important that we know all these things so that we will expect ourselves to die. What we are going to go through, all that is information. We are preparing ourselves personally to go through that path. Now that the body is bleeding, and I told you, these days, especially after the age of 40, we have thinning, blood thinners, okay, clopidogrels, clopidogrels, aspirins. Many of us who have crossed 40 will be advised or recommended by the doctor to have this. These are blood thinners. Blood thinners thin the blood. That's the job. It avoids the blood from clotting. It avoids cardiac problems or reduces cardiac problems because there is no clotting, and would, assist somebody or save somebody from a heart attack. But it does happen. these things do happen despite the thinners. What happens that even if a person does not die of the heart-related problems, he dies, but he has been having the thinners. We mentioned the blood oozes out from so many parts of the body after it is dead because of the pressure being released as the body settles down. Because of that, we need to stop that bleeding before we start giving ghusl. How to stop? We say the blood oozes out from the nose, the ears and the mouth, majority of the times. And the fourth place is wherever the needle holes are there, the IV holes. That is where you get the blood coming out. What do we do? Most important, if you have such a case of the ears and the nose, this is something that has been tried, and we were advised by the Dar Islam community, or rather the committee in the Dar Islam team of ghusl, and I'll share inshallah with my colleagues here, that when you have a dead body with blood oozing from the nose and the ears, cut the fingers of the gloves that we have, stuff it with hard cotton wool. There is a cotton wool that comes which is hard. Stuff it, and that finger stuffed with the hard cotton wool, slowly stuff it and plug the ears and the nose. We're allowed to do it because we are not required to wash or give ghusl right inside the nose or right inside the ears. We are giving ghusl to only the external parts of the body. Inside the ears, these are not external parts. Those are internal parts. Whatever can be seen normally, that's the external part. Of course, we will try and overlap and take part of the internal part. The way we do ghusl of our body, whatever is external, we can see is where we are going to put water. Not that we start putting fingers inside the nose or inside the ears. No. Whatever is external, we wash it. So, when you plug the ears and the nose, bleeding will stop. You're now comfortably going to give ghusl after that. 2, you have needle holes, IV. And these are the most difficult ones to stop at times. I remember one body, one needle hole, one here, injection. Just one on the biceps, just one. It took us 45 minutes to 1 hour to stop it. We couldn't stop it. We called the doctor. He came with his assistant and a toolkit, surgical kit, small dot. But because the person was having thinners, now those thinners, that is the deadly part for those who are giving ghusl, because the thinners ensure that the blood will not stop, it will just come out. So he came and he stitched it in a way, but stitching also is another art. If the doctor does not stitch well, what happens? Wherever he pricks, he'll have blood coming out. He did it so expertly that alhamdulillah, of course he took some time, but after that half an hour or so, we could see now the body, the blood stopped. But that stitching was done professionally. So, stitching is another way to stop bleeding. You can stop the bleeding if it is from the IVs only by stitching. But that one has to be done professionally. Somebody who is well aware of this, who has an experience in this, should be brought there, okay, from the surgical team. Okay, even the doctor sometimes would not be that good in it, but the one who is good in it, in stitching these, wounds, he can come forward and assist you. So that is how we can stop the bleeding. Third, if you can't stop the bleeding, the blood still oozes out, what do we do? The only way is ensure that you have abejari, running water. You have running water on that wound whilst the rest of the team continues with the ghusl. What happens with that running water? The water continuously is poured or on that wound, so that as the blood oozes out or trickles out, then the blood does not come out with a rush. Little by little it comes out, but it ensures that it makes everything najis. Everything becomes red because it's all wet. So keep that water running on the wound and let the water run out. That way we are protected that at least it is under the running water. It is not stopping at one place and making everything najis. And as we continue giving the ghusl, the body inshallah will become tahir after the final third ghusl, and you come and tape it. You are allowed to tape as many places as we want on a dead body before giving a kafan. As many tapes as you want to put. The elastoplast that we talk about. Right, we shall stop here inshallah and continue from tomorrow inshallah with regards to how to give the ghusl and reach the kafan of the dead body. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammadin wa ali